Welcome to Bronze and Modern Gods. I am John.
And I am Richard.
And it is another Monday episode. Thank you so much for joining us. We've got a lot going on today. Underrated books of the week, our hot book of the week, 25-year rule, our main topic, modern grails. Are they worth five figures? I mean, we see what some of these modern books are selling for, and we go, huh? What? Scooby snacks? So we will discuss that today. And we're going to get started with our hot book of the week. Oh, Richard, I'm going to take this one first, okay?
You go ahead, John.
It is Journey into Mystery Annual #1. Hercules, Hercules, Hercules. This is the first appearance of Hercules and the first appearance of Zeus. And it's the first battle between Thor and Hercules. Hercules wins. It is Marvel at its best. Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Vince Coletta inks. Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's not Marvel at its best, but it's up there. We've already seen Zeus in the Love and Thunder trailer with, the quite literal lightning bolt in his hand. Why does this give me Batman 1960s TV series vibes with the lightning? And, Herc is coming. It may not be in Love and Thunder, but, now we've got the gods of Olympus involved in the MCU. So, Richard, you happened to be with me in January 2020 when we were at California Comic-Con, and I purchased my copy for $800, came back at 8.5. I think I got a deal.
I think so. So.
What's happening now?
Oh, the value of this book is just skyrocketing right now. There's actually a 9.8 on the census. A 9.8 does exist, but it hasn't been any sales since 2013.
I'm not letting it go.
But the 9.4, which is the highest, most recent sale that I could find, went for $8,400.
Yeah. So this book has seen a huge increase in value even before all of this was going on. I think people realize this has always been a tough annual. It's one of the first Marvel Universe superhero annuals, along with Fantastic Four annual and SpiderMan, Amazing Spider-Man annual. And it's Strange Tales annual too. I keep bringing that up because people are sleeping on Strange Tales annual too. Fourth appearance of Spider-Man, people. These annuals have been overlooked for so long. And I think the fact they've been overlooked, no one's been taking care of them. The spines are split. The glue's getting old. So high grade copies are far and few.
Absolutely. This even without the movie coming, and we know we have Zeus. We know we're going to have Hercules. Even without that, I think this is such a strong book. And it has been undervalued for so long. I'm glad to see it come to a point where it's really getting its dues.
100%. And Hercules. So I'm on board. All right. When we're talking about values and things shooting up, it's usually Silver Age books, Bronze Age first appearances, but we cannot forget modern grails. They're going crazy, you guys. We've talked about this. We had a whole episode about Ultimate Fallout 4 1 in 25 Drzevic variant versus Amazing Fantasy 15. Which would you rather own at this point? And that's our topic today. We're going to dig into this a little bit more. These modern grails, are they truly worth the prices that they're getting? The fact that we're now in not the thousands of dollars for some of these books, but the tens of thousands of dollars. For someone that's been in the game as long as I have, it's mind-blowing to me that a book that came out in 2011 could command $30,000. But Richard, you have some examples here.
Yeah, I mean, Ultimate Fallout is a great example. There's, that book is the first appearance of Miles Morales, and it's just amazing how he has electrified the non-comic collecting market in a way I don't think any other modern Marvel character has. Ultimate Fallout 4's first appearance. The newsstand version is probably the most rare version of this book. There are said to be around 50 examples known at this date. Just 50 copies of this book. Recently on eBay, a listing has popped up for a 9.4, and that is listed for $30,000.
Now, is that just a fishing expedition?
I don't know. It's just, that's the problem with a book this rare. If there's only 50 examples, they rarely come up on eBay for sale. They don't come up very often on any of the other auction houses either. So it's difficult because you don't have a large enough sample set. So that alone makes it difficult to narrow in on a price, but it also means it is so rare, it could command prices that you would find hard to accept on any other modern book.
Even let's take out the newsstand and the 1 in 25, and let's just talk Ultimate Fallout 4, your basic polybagged version that went to direct sales. 9/8s are now $3,500.
Yeah.
I mean, when we started this podcast in April of 2020, how much were they going for at the time?
They're about 400 is what I bought my first one for. Yeah.
Just to see the growth for that alone. And I mean, comparison. Okay. Going back to the newsstand version of this book and the Jurjevic 1 in 25 variant, just for comparison's sake, Giant Size X-Men #1. Okay. Obviously the most important Bronze Age key, right?
Right.
The last sale for 9.6 was $15,600. And this guy is selling an Ultimate Fall 4 newsstand asking $30K.
Right. Well, there was a 9.6 sale for the 1 in 25 variant, the Jurjevic variant, that went for $14,500. Sold. Wow. $14,500. So that 9.6 sold for almost as much as a 9.6 for a Giant Size X-Men.
I'm gonna draw a line in the sand. I'd take the X-Men, Giant Size X-Men any day.
Yeah, that's I was thinking about that because one of the things that I was talking about is comparing these to the Bronze and Copper Age books. I mean, it comes down to who do you think has more headroom, the Giant Size X-Men or the Jurjevic variant? So it depends on how, if you're looking at headroom. We know in the short term, I think there's going to be more growth in the Jurjevic, but
really?
long term, yeah, because we got Edge of Spider-Verse. We've got 2 Edge of Spider-Verse movies coming out in the next 2 years. They've done it that way, and I think that's going to affect for the next 2 or 3 years. It's going to affect the price of those books significantly, but if you look at 5 years from now, when X-Men are in the MCU and they have a bigger presence, then I think Giant Size is going to really take off.
I wonder what the rarity comparison is here, because 1 in 25 of Ultimate Fallout 4, have we ever gotten any kind of firm numbers on how many are out there, how many were printed?
Well, the print run for the first run was around 85,000 for the first print. So if you think 1 in 25, so take 85,000 divided by 25. I am not going to do math on the fly. So, but that's the maximum that it could be, and we all know that not every store orders 25 books and
right.
So,
and we also know that Marvel does not print to order when they do these. There is an overprint of some sort.
Right. That's true. So it's tough to say. I can almost guarantee you that there are more Jurjevic books in existence than high grade Giant Size X-Men.
Yeah, that Giant Size X-Men, again, square bound book, tough with those spines. They get bent, they get torn, they get split. It's an interesting comparison. This next one you have on your list, I'm gonna poo-poo it. I'm gonna go thumbs down. You're gonna hate me for it, but tell everybody what else you got here talking about these modern grails that are worth 5 figures.
Yeah, we've got Edge of Spider-Verse #2. This is the Greg Land variant. It had a recent eBay sale for a 9.8 of $11,000, which, there's this one is tougher to justify the price, right? Yeah. It's the first appearance of Spider-Gwen, which is an important character, especially in the Miles Morales microverse here. But I don't know if its first print is about $2,000 right now for a 9.8. So does this book demand this kind of premium over that 2000? I would have a hard time paying it.
This book is, I don't know, double, triple the amount for the first appearance of Gwen Stacy in Amazing Spider-Man
Yeah, yeah, that's
in high grade.
but you know what? This book has continually gone up. Last year, this book was probably a $7,000 book
Yeah.
all day long. The year before that, it was probably a $5,000 book. It's always been expensive, but it has never retreated in value. So
I'm
it's
not,
hard
I'm
to
not
bet
saying
against it.
I'm not saying it's not worth something. There's scarcity again. It's another variant cover, lower print run, higher, tougher and higher grades.
Mhm.
It's not worth $11,000. Sorry. I
Yeah,
mean, I guess a book honestly is worth whatever someone is willing to pay for it. So in this case, it is worth $11,000. But man, I don't know if it's gonna sustain or grow.
yeah, $11,000. At that point, I would look at investing that money in something that has a little bit more stability. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that
I mean,
represents
a
that.
low grade Amazing Fantasy 15, a 1.0, or a coverless.
Yeah, 1.0 is still $30,000.
Okay, so all right. An, an Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. Uh, um, yeah. What? Okay. I'm sorry. If you're saying AF-15, it's about 30. But if you're saying ASM-1, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you can
Hey,
do an ASM-1, and I would probably do that before I did 11 grand on this modern book because it's tied to a character that doesn't have the same provenance as Spider-Man, Peter Parker Spider-Man. And these characters come in and out of favor. I hate to say it.
I get it. You guys are throwing a rod for Gwen Stacy. I get it.
Come on, she's yeah, it's yeah. There's a lot of appeal to the character. Let's just
Don't let the head below trump the head above when it comes to buying these books, you guys.
Now the third example I have is the Star Wars Clone Wars #1, the special edition, the Dark Horse limited to
Yes.
1,000 copies.
Okay, there's scarcity right there. A
Mhm.
thousand.
Right. 9.8 sold for $13,800. So it's another book that's sitting there. It's low five figures, but it's five figures. I mean, you're not gonna buy this on impulse, okay?
No.
Because of that price. Um, this one I think may have more legs than definitely has more legs than the Edge of Spider Verse, in my opinion. Um, and it's the first appearance of Ahsoka Tano, and that's a very important character as we move forward in the Star Wars universe. And so I think it is going to have a long-term value as long as as long as there's value in that character. I still favor Miles I mean, if I had to pick between these three, and if I had $15,000 to spend, um, I would probably spend it on, and between these three books, I would spend it on Ultimate Fallout Dejavik 9.6. Um, rather than either the Greg Land variant or the Star Wars. But if you're looking for a non Marvel book, that Star Wars book is probably the highest one that I've found.
I guess it's just different strokes and what you collect. Because if I had $15,000 to spend, I'm getting a 9.2 Avengers 4, or I'm getting a key, a true key that,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
is tested and true.
um, yeah, I definitely would see that. At 15,000, um, I would probably the giant size X-Men, it would be a strong buy, or a good graded Hulk 181 is another good buy when you're looking in that price range. Any of the Fantastic Fours, like Fantastic Four 5, any of
Yeah.
the first 10 are just excellent buys because those are also just blue chip books. So, if you're looking for something that has a proven track record over decades, then you look at those kinds of books. But if you are specking that more Gen X, Gen Zs are going to invest in these kinds of the characters that they grew up with, that's going to be the Miles Morales. It's going to be the Ahsoka Tano from the Clone Wars TV show, cartoon. It's going to be Gwen Stacy and Spider Gwen. And these books are going to have of significant value to that new market, which neither one of us apply to.
It's a great segue into what I just wanted to discuss real quick is that, you know what? The kids are all right.
Yeah.
Because coming up in the late 70s, early 80s, we were considered pretty much going to be the last generation that bought comic books. The industry was going in the toilet. There were some signs of life with the direct sales route happening, but it was still an older audience. Who was going to be this next generation of comic collectors? Marvel tried to get things started with Star Comics, to get younger readers in, didn't work. And we just grew up thinking that, comic books are going to go away eventually. And here we are in 2022. And these characters, these modern characters, these Spider-Gwens and Miles and Asho Gesundheits are, what's her name?
Gesundheits?
Yeah, Asho Kasano.
Oh, Katano. Wow.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. They're bringing new readers in. It's I can't complain about that. That's amazing. That's great.
It is. It bodes well for the hobby in general.
We're in a much healthier place now than we were back in 1997 when Marvel's coming out of bankruptcy. Comic books orders are at all-time lows. Let's take a trip back to that time in the 25-year-old. Richard. 25-year-old, 1997. We have another Wizard magazine mail-away comic book that you have picked. What is it?
Yeah, it's Sin City 1/2. Just another Saturday night.
City, just a little half of a Sin City.
It's half. Yeah, it's more of a vignette than it is a full comic.
Mm-hmm.
It was available through mail order. If you from Wizard number 73, if you mailed in, you got the comic and a certificate of authenticity, which was great. I never did find out because the certificate was signed by Frank Miller. I don't know if it was a true signature by Frank Miller or if it was just printed on the seal.
Are any of them really that FM he writes?
Yeah,
is that a true signature?
Yeah. So the story is it's a brief story for around the character Marv. If you're familiar with the movie, which I absolutely love, the 2005 movie. I thought it was such a unique take on comic characters, and it was so true to life to Frank Miller's vision. I feel
it looked like a Frank Miller drawing.
It did. The monochromatic schemes and the red to highlight, it was just amazing. But anyway, so it focuses on Marv as one of the characters, and it scene starts off with Nancy running off with the old man, which is a scene directly from the movie. Now, this book came out 7 years before the movie, so the movie was definitely based on the books, rather than the other way around. This book was limited in print run. I have no idea what the actual print run for this book, but since it was a mail order, I can't believe it was very high. The story is very brief. It's a good story. It fits into the universe. Was able to find 9/8 for this thing though for like $80, raws for $6. So I'm not really sure why. If it was something like that, a mail order, why is it so affordable on the market?
Sin City, despite having movies, never really took off, collectors wise. I mean, I think that one issue of Dark Horse Presents, which is the first Sin City, goes for a little bit of a premium, but yeah, it's not like Hellboy. When Hellboy came out, that exploded. I think people have a tough time with Frank Miller's noir style.
I like it. I like the bold lines. I like the clean drawings. It really appeals to my particular aesthetic, but I could see if you're not looking for that kind of raw art style, that it could be kind of jarring.
Did you like Jim Lee's Death Blow? Remember when Jim Lee ripped off Frank Miller's style?
It was very derivative. So
what? How dare you? Jim Lee will be very offended. All right, moving on. Speaking of Death Blow, to our underrated books of the week. I can start off this time. My underrated book of the week is a DCU character now. I think you could say. Started off again, like last week, we were talking about Captain Atom and Blue Beetle starting off as Charlton characters. This guy started off as a Charlton character, and the book has a very strange title. If you don't know what you're looking for, you're never going to find it. It is not Judo Master. It is Special War Series number 4. What it says right up there, Special War Series number 4 is the first appearance and origin of the Judo Master, who, of course, was featured in HBO Max's Peacemaker series. Now, the original run of Judo Master ran for 10 issues in the mid-60s, which is about 6 issues longer than I thought it had. There have been several versions of Judo Master since, but it all started here with Special War Series number 4. It is a tough book because it's a Charlton book. It was made with 1 grade of paper just above toilet paper, and it has a strange title that is tough to find. Most people are going to file that under J for Judo Master.
Mhm.
It is not. It is called Special War Series number 4. A 9.4 of this book sold for $380 in February of 2021. Now, since Peacemaker is hit, we've seen a lot more activity with this book. An 8.5 sold last month for $457. So we're seeing this tick up a bit. Are there plans for Judo Master to have a spinoff or anything like that? Who knows? Probably not. But just a tough book.
Why does DC have the strangest titles for books?
Well,
I
this
think of
was Charlton. This was Charlton. Don't blame
Charlton. Okay, I apologize.
Charlton used Charlton. Well, I can tell you a little bit why DC and Charlton, and even Marvel, would have these strange titles. You had to pay for postage permits to mail out subscriptions. And every time you started a new title, you had to buy a new postal permit. So to save money, instead of starting a book off with number 1, Judo Master, they would just take a title that was low selling and they were going to cancel anyway and just call it Judo Master Special War Series number 4. That way they saved on the permit money. Now, when after a while, the nickel and diming stopped and they realized a number 1 issue would generate more sales than continuing the numbering from another book.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like Showcase from DC, where you just had a variety of characters, like the Dolphin. You think Dolphin, you don't think Showcase.
Showcase was a showcase for new characters. That's what Marvel Premiere was, a place to premiere new characters and concepts. They weren't quite confident that they could hold their own title yet. So this was a way to test market it, almost like we're going to put up 3 issues of The Flash, a couple months apart, and see how it does. And then we'll look at the sales report and we'll make a decision. Carmine, it sold well. Congratulations, Mr. Infantino.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess the sensibilities were different back then. It's just strange how the titles all over the place.
Yeah. Your underrated book of the week. Can I preemptively make a Miracle Molly joke before you start?
Go ahead.
Miracle Molly. Okay, go ahead.
My pick this week is a Robin number 1. This is the new Robin series. The reason why I picked it is the first appearance of a character called Flatline.
Miracle Molly.
Miracle Molly. Yes. DC loves to put in these first appearances and these characters disappear. Miracle Molly, Punchline. There are a lot of characters that DC just doesn't go deep on.
Clown Hunter.
Clown Hunter, yes. Flatline is female. She is Robin's age. She turns out to be a love interest for Robin. What really spawned me to pick this was Robin 15, which is coming out in June. On the cover has Robin and Flatline kissing. So, we're guaranteed we're going to have more presence of this character than potentially some of the other characters that Marvel has or DC has created in the past couple of years. So, and she has interesting power set. And when somebody dies, she has the ability to absorb their powers. So she is a martial artist just like Robin, and they have similar abilities. It's an interesting character, and I think more like Crush. If you remember Crush, She was the daughter of Lobo. She had a lot and has a lot of persistence. She's still a character that has a presence in the comics. I could see this character also being like her. Right now is a great time to buy. You can get a 9.8 of this book for between $50 and $80 on eBay. I mean, they're not expensive. It's not an expensive book to buy. Raws you can still get for $6. But I would skip the Raws. If you can get a 9.8 for $50, don't bother with the Raws. Just get the 9.8. So yeah, that's my pick this week.
Look at you, Mr. Moneybags.
No, it's how much it's going to cost you to get that $6.
Fast track. Yeah. By the way, I went to Frank and Son's collectible show today, which is a huge collectibles warehouse flea market type deal here in Southern California. It actually is inside an old Sam's Club, just to give you a sense of scale. And I was recognized, and I want to give a shout out to Jeff, who said hi today. So hi, Jeff. Thank you for saying hi. And you went to Fan Expo in Cleveland over the weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not the bravest review.
It used to be called Wizard World. And they had a great selection of artists there. They had Dan Parent was there. So there were great artists. William Shatner was there. I would have loved. What?
He's an artist in his own sense.
I'm sorry. I switched to Tempest. That was a good show. It was just like all of the Fan Expos. It wasn't a comic book show. They had comic books as an aspect of the collectibles there, but it wasn't the focus of it. So there are a number of comic book booths, and they were doing some business, but there were a lot of people there buying tchotchke, buttons and badges and random junk because they could buy
Pops.
Yes, the Funkos. Oh, there was a giant booth for Funkos.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice. There's a lot of cosplay, which I always enjoy. So it was a lot of participation, and I thought it was good from that standpoint.
And admission for one day,
$57. $57 for the privilege of wandering around. Now, of course, that also buys you panels and things like that, but I never go to that.
That's more than WonderCon. That's insane. I'm sorry. I'll call it. You're being nice. That's insanity.
It really is. I couldn't justify if I hadn't already paid for parking and walked the 20 minutes to get to the place and was standing at the ticket booth and they told me $57. If I hadn't already done all that, I probably would have passed. But
imagine taking the kids.
I can't imagine. A friend of the show, Evan brought his wife and 2 children, and I can't even imagine how much he paid.
Wow, that is expensive. Thanks, Obama. All right. I think I got all the running gags in this week. I got Miracle Molly in there. I got Thanks, Obama. What other running gags am I missing, everybody? Let me know in the comments. In the meantime, thank you very much for joining us this week. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Bronze and Modern Gods. You never know when a live sale is going to happen, Richard. And you never know what will happen when you hit like and subscribe. You'll make us happy, but you may find you getting a notification if you hit that notification bell. All these weird reasons for us to help you, help us and get engaged. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm punch drunk.
You punch line.
I'm Miracle Molly. All right. Thanks, everybody. We will see you next time.
Everybody stay safe.